Hello everyone, I'm Jimson Lee for SpeedEndurance.com, and today's video is who has the fastest 40-yard dash. And people think it's Usain Bolt, and we'll soon find out. First, a quick blurb on who I am and the blog. It's the book I never wrote. It has about 1,400 articles in the past 5 years, and it's been quoted on BBC, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, and the New York Times. Okay, two facts. We all agree that the 40 yards is 36.57 meters. That's all we agree on, and the rest will get controversial. There is one term that I will use in this video, and that's called FAT, meaning fully automatic time, or electronic time. So when I say a FAT time, it's electronic. Now the 40-yard dash in football, a few things different than track. One, the old results are hand time to the nearest tenth of a second. They start on the first motion, where the reaction time of the athlete is not counted. The timer is always manually started by the eye and hand, and the finish is electronic in today's newer tests at the football combines. And the surface is usually AstroTurf, and the athlete is wearing football cleats. Now in track or athletics, the timer starts when the gun sounds. The reaction time is counted, and there is a minimum of 0.100 seconds by the IAAF, and most sprinters have an average of 0.15 seconds, anywhere ranging from 0.13 to 0.18. The run is usually synthetic tracks with track spikes, and world-class sprinters accelerate to the 60-meter mark, beginners until 30, women around 50, and the rare exception is Usain Bolt and Tyson Gay, where they accelerate up to 65 or 70 meters. So the 40-yard dash is 36 meters, meaning that 100-meter sprinters are still accelerating at that point. Now, the IAAF official hand time conversion, there's two of them. One of them is when the gun and finish line are at the same line, they say to add 0.14 seconds to a hand time, like in a 400 meters or a 4x100 meter relay. When the gun and finish line are different, like the 100 meters or 200 meters, you are to add 0.24. So keep in mind those numbers, 0.14 and 0.24. We got to go back to 1973 from a research study from the University of Gießen, and they did some hand time conversions. And we got to look at this because they said that when the timer and the gun is together, like the 400 meter start, they found an average differential of 0.18 seconds. When the timer and the gun are 100 meters away, they found a differential of 0.24 seconds. And lastly, when the gun and timer is way across the infield for a 200 meter start, or about 125 meter diagonal, they found a 0.26 second differential. So what does this mean? Well, I think, according to myself, at 36.6 meters away, you really should add about 0.2 seconds for the hand time conversion in a 40-yard dash. Now, how in the world they chose 0.14 and 0.24, that's not for this discussion, but these are the facts. This is the research. Now, Deion Sanders is listed as the official world record holder for the 40-yard dash at 4.17 seconds. Okay, two questions. One, is that a hand time or is that a fat time? If it's a hand time, that 4.17 becomes rounded up to 4.2. It does not become 4.1. And second, if it is a fat time, it's only an electronic time at the end of his test. The beginning part was hand triggered. So if it is fat, he has an advantage because he has about, I say, a 0.2 second advantage from the guy who started the electronic timer and on his first movement. So we don't really know what his time is, but on paper it's 4.17. Now let's go in the last slide. Now this is a whole bunch of extrapolations that I've collected over the years using high-speed video analysis, and I break down the 10-meter segments of all the world records that has existed since Ben Johnson. Now, okay, Ben Johnson and Tim Montgomery are on the list. Yes, I know they were busted for steroids, but they still ran those times. Drugs or no drugs, they still ran that. So I'm keeping them in the list. Hey, it's my video, that's fine. So we have the best example for the fastest time would be Usain Bolt at Beijing 2008, and we have his 40-yard time with reaction time in blue at 4.35 seconds. Now I'm making one assumption here, and that's the 30 to 40 meter segment. I'm actually averaging that time for 6.57 meters to make 36.57 or 40 yards. So to make an average, that's a bit questionable because he's still accelerating from the 30.1 mark to the 40 meter mark. That speed is linear, but it is acceleration. So with the reaction time, we have Usain Bolt at 4.35 seconds. If you subtract his reaction time, which is 0.165, we get a 4.19 official 40-yard dash time. And if you look across the green bar, the next closest is 4.20 from Bolt's Berlin race in 2009, as well as Maurice Greene 4.20 in 2001. Now, if you take those times in the green bar and you subtract the 0.2 for the hand time conversion that I stated earlier, we got about 4.0 to 4.1 official hand times. And these are world-class athletes. Keep in mind, they're still accelerating at 36 meters. In fact, if you look at the chart, you'll see that these guys are accelerating at 60 to 70 meters. Usain Bolt is actually, in 2009, he has a 0.81 10-meter split, the fastest ever recorded, and we have a whole bunch of 0.83s and 0.82s. But 4.0, 4.1 is pretty darn fast. Who has the world record now? Is it Deion Sanders 4.17, or is it Usain Bolt 4.19? Is it 4.0? Is it 4.1? We don't know, but this is the topic for a lot of discussion, and all I can say is that 4.0 is pretty darn fast. And if you don't believe me, get on a pair of spikes, go to the track, time yourself, get someone to time you, and report back on the findings. And that's it for the 40-yard dash controversy. For SpeedEndurance.com, I'm Jim Sun Lee.